Hello, thanks for coming. I know it's been a long day today, and you have been looking for a lot of code and a lot of serious technical stuff. So I thought today I would speak about something more light, something more fun. And I've been fascinated with computer vision for a long time, and I always thought that it's something that people like research in university, and it's not really easy to get into, and it's not really easy to play with. But recently the level of entry has been really lowered. There's a lot of great tutorials, there's a lot of great material, and there are a lot of open source tools that you can play with. So I started doing that, and I was thinking, what sort of interesting problem could I solve? And I had a problem: snakes around the house. It's not really common in here, but I live in Thailand, and I live in a sort of like out of the city, and there's a lot of snakes there. And most of them are harmless, but some are not. And sometimes they get into the house or around the house. They hide under your car, stuff like that. And you would ideally you would like to know that before you encounter it. But how would you actually know that? So I was started thinking. I have security cameras around the house, and there's a lot of there's a very interesting project called Frigate Video, which is sort of like a local video recorder that also does object detection. It's completely local on your own hardware, doesn't send anything to the cloud, and it has great hardware support. It runs on video cards, it runs on like a dedicated hardware. You can buy like a tensor USB stick from Google that has a tensor DPU on it, plug it into Raspberry Pi, and run AI object detection locally on your own computer. So here's a sample that it's detecting like it uses motion detection that is really effective. So if there's nothing happening, it doesn't actually use a lot of resources. And when it detects motion, then it takes the screenshot of the stream and sends it to object recognition to see what it's actually there, what is this object. By default, it uses the MS Coco dataset. It's an open source dataset. It has like over 200 objects: people, bicycles, cats, dogs, everything. It can detect a lot of things, but it cannot detect snakes. And so I thought that I would try and teach YOLO v7. That's the You Only Look Once library. It's an open source library written in Python that does object recognition. It does it quite fast. It can be real time, and you can use it. You can train it with your own data set. You just need some sample images. So, like you need like 100 or 200 images for like a really basic training, but it's kind of difficult to do it with live snakes because there are not that many around. And yeah, I cannot like a whistle and get the snake to come so I can film it. So what I did actually was I got some toy snakes from the shop, and I tried to like see like can I use the toy snakes to actually generate this sort of training data for teaching the computer vision. So I did. I basically what I did, take the toy snakes, put it on a string, and drag it around my house. My wife still thinks I'm crazy. She refused to believe it has not anything to do with work or real thing. But yeah, I had some free time, and in the end, I had a lot of screenshots, lot of data about snakes from all different angles. So to train the AI, it's uh, it's a nice toolkit called Anaconda. It's basically a tool to install PyTorch, install all the applications with Python to create a custom environment. So you get all the right versions, you get everything working right out of the box. It's really easy to use. You don't have to download anything manually. It does all the dependencies. And there's an app called Label Image that you use to basically open your images one by one. You can see there's a snake on the lower right corner, and you draw the boxes around the items that you want to recognize, and you label them. So you go through all the data set that you have one by one, you label all of them, and then you have like one folder with the images and one folder with the labels that show where this object is on the image. So I'm not gonna go through the tutorial of or like a step-by-step how to train the custom model. There's a lot of great information on YouTube. Basically, you download the GitHub repo and you follow the step-by-step guides on YouTube. It's a really fast-changing world. So like a 6-month-old video on YouTube can already be out of date. You might have to change some dependencies around or hack around a bit because new versions are coming out all the time. But I followed the steps I found online, and I got all the software working. And so I took my laptop and I started training the model. And you can see I trained the model on like 100 iterations. It took me about 1.3 hours on this like laptop with a GPU. So in the end, you get this sort of like a custom model file that you can then plug into, for example, the Frigate video to do custom object detection for you. Yeah? Oh, sorry, not you. Sorry, I thought somebody had a question. So I trained this video. I trained this model on the videos that I made locally. And I used my phone actually to make the videos because it was just easier to record. So next, I tried with the sample images, and you see it actually works. These are snapshots from the videos that I took, and it actually can detect snakes. See this? They're really small, so it's hard to see, but they detect this sort of toy snakes there. So far so good. I thought that whoa, that was easy. Okay, let's try it with real life. And this is the picture of actual security camera that I had and I like to use. And you see the snake is sort of like a really, really small one here. And there I ran into a problem because the resolution of the security camera was actually so bad that the detection simply didn't work. I tried a lot of different training models, different parameters, but I simply couldn't overcome the bad image quality of the security camera. So, but this is not really an expensive camera. It's sort of like a 200 euro Chinese made security camera. It's a supposedly 4K resolution. But when you actually take the video, you see the resolution is actually so bad that object recognition simply couldn't work on it. So I had this beautiful model, but it failed to work in real life, which is something that happens sometimes. So I was thinking that, okay, what should I do next? What can I do next? So I actually plan to get much better quality cameras and near infrared lights for the nighttime, because the snakes doesn't show up on infrared cameras. You have to have the near infrared lights. And then I need more realistic snake models. And I thought that I have to attract real snakes for testing purposes somehow. But I'm not sure if this one gets approval from my family. But this is something that I thought that how would actually, maybe I will talk about this next year. How do you actually attract snakes to your house? So it was a nice idea, and but after I failed to actually achieve the detection with the real life, I started thinking, okay, what else can I do? So I started thinking, what's even more cool than snakes and sharks? So there's a thing that surfers in Australia and around the world, they encounter sharks all the time. And people get bitten by sharks every year. Some of them even die. Uh, there's a lot of different technologies to repel the sharks, like a different swimming suits. You paint pattern on your surfboards, some sort of like electrical devices that are supposed to repel sharks, but none of them are like very reliable. And people put like a shark nets in the water, but shark nets have the problem that they break, and also they kill fish and they kill dolphins and turtles who get stuck in them. So that's also not very good. So in Australia, I was talking to my friend who goes surfing quite often, and he said that volunteers fly drones all over the beach and try to spot the sharks, and then they warn the surfers that sharks are near. But this depends on if you have volunteers to do it or not. If nobody is doing it, then you are out of luck. And when you stand on the surfboard like this, then you cannot see the sharks swimming around under the water. So I thought that maybe this is something that you can do. So I thought that maybe we can create AI drone patrols that can fly over the beach automatically and spot the sharks in the water. And you would have to have like a base station that receives all the video and does the object detection, and it would charge the battery, and otherwise the drones would like fly on like a full autopilot. And the surfing beaches already have lifeguards. They already have lifeguard stations. So uh, there are people there who can, for example, change the batteries of the drones because they need changing like every half an hour. But most infrastructure is already in place, and they already have like a flag system, so they can alert the surfers with the flags that there's dangerous things in the water. So I thought that maybe this is something that could work. So I took the same approach. I found a bunch of videos online of made from drones that show sharks swimming around, and I started training a model to identify sharks in the water. As you see, I put a screenshot here. It actually worked better than with snakes because the video quality is better, sharks are bigger, and also there is much less background noise. So it's easier to train. I took about 200, I think, screenshots of different videos that are filmed from drones. And I did the same thing. I labeled them all and I fed them to the YOLO object detector. And I got the result there. But now I can actually give you a little live demo of that. So I have here this trained my Anaconda prompt, so which I can run actually the Python detect by AI. I give it my custom trained weights file, and I give it the video. And let's see. As you can see, I'll do it in full screen. There's a shark there, and it's not perfect, but you can see it actually detects the shark in the water and not the surfers. It's not perfect, but it was also like maybe half a days of hacking to put it together. If you want to do it in real life, maybe you need a few thousand sample images instead of few hundred, but it's definitely doable. So it's not 100% reliable yet, but it's basically it works. And I think with proper development, with proper funding, it can actually be made to the product that is actually sellable and is useful for people, because I made some research and nothing like this actually exists in the world. So that would be a world first product that automates shark detection. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little talk. If you want to invest in this idea, please contact me later. I'm open to uh, describe further what I would like to achieve. And I don't know, do you have any questions? Yes? The false positives are already all, of course, possible, but generally sharks tend to be different colored. Sharks tend to be darker than dolphins. Yes, there is. Of course, it's not impossible. It's impossible to achieve 100% perfection, but with enough training data, I think you can achieve quite good, like initial detection precision. And of course, you can have a person who is a lifeguard, for example, checking the screenshot or checking the alert before actually alerting people if it's actually a shark or not. So it doesn't have to be fully automated, of course, because you always get sort of like a false positives. But it can automate quite a lot of this sort of like you don't have to have somebody staring at the screen all the time for hours and hours to spot it. So and also this frigate video, it has quite nice features. It has a lot of integrations. It sends messages over MQTT when something is detected. So you can automate this as well. You can have an app, for example, for the lifeguard that automatically gets notifications together with the screenshot if something is detected. So and it does the lifeguard doesn't have to sit in front of computer and like look at the screen. And if you want to use the frigate video, it has a lot of, it can integrate with Apple HomeKit, for example. You can use it at your own home to detect squirrels coming to eat the food for birds, or neighbor's dog breaking into your garden. So, of course, yeah, it's not perfect, but it can be made to work better than nothing. Yeah. No, it would be on the computer because the drones don't have the power to process it. But the drones send video over data link all the time anyway. So the frigate video has a lot of different options to pull video from different sources, security cameras, like web sources, anything. So of course, all the video processing would be done centrally. Anything else? Yeah.
If you're taking it directly from the drone, is the video a blocking interference? Is it bad? Can it also work on the can it program process the video from directly from a drone like that?
What do you mean directly? But I think the drone always has some sort of video encoding. You cannot get like a raw video stream from a drone.
As all the streamings from a drone I saw, they were never clear. They were always blurry, and I don't know. I myself couldn't recognize some parts of the images.
Uh, I mean, I haven't decided upon what sort of hardware to use for the drones. It's probably most of the footage that you see online. It's already encoded by YouTube, which also reduces quality.
Yeah,
And maybe the drone cameras are not so good either. So for like a real solution, you could use some expensive drones like the DJI drones, or they have really good cameras.
yeah.
So I mean, the system would not be like you wouldn't sell it to like anybody, like a private people. It would be something like that would be used professionally, and so you can charge more money and buy better drones. You don't have to build it so cheaply.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. Thank you for coming and enjoy your evening. See you tomorrow.